Hi guys, I'd like to welcome you guys all back to my channel. We are back with day 5 of Vlogmas, and today we are talking about the book Slay. So Slay is a YA contemporary-esque book written by Brittany Morris. It is about a girl named Kiara who creates her own game online called Slay. Basically, it is like a black gamer girl's dream. It is a world created based off of black culture and black history and black excellence. For example, they have the ability to design themselves at whatever they want, but they can actually duel each other in stadiums. And stadiums are named like places are like Beyonce Bayou, like things like that. I cannot explain to you guys how freaking amazing this book was. I'm letting you guys know this review is going to have spoilers. I have to talk about how amazing this book is. To do that, we're gonna have spoilers. So if you plan on reading Slay and you're one of those people that can't read a book after it's been spoiled for you, click off this video. I love you. Come back when you're done. But I highly recommend you read this book. So now, this is what the back of the book says. And this epitomizes everything. Black gamers go through this every day, I remind myself. It's just a part of gaming while black. Racism crops up in so many places. I should be used to it by now, but I shouldn't have to be. Not here. Not in Slay. I'm here to defend the right to safety, to defend this space. I am a queen, and this is my game. Okay. Woo! Reading that line gets me worked up every time because Kiara goes through this growth of understanding the importance of what she's created. So she's the sole developer of this game. She has a friend named Cicada, who actually is a college girl in Paris who's mixed, help her create the game. And so you can live in the game, you can forge, you can just be whoever you want to be, you can build things, all that stuff, but you can also duel. While dueling, you have the opportunity to play with 3 cards: hexes, defenses, and attack cards. Bruh. The Slay cards are probably one of the best parts of this book. The Slay cards are different parts of black culture throughout the diaspora. So it's not just African American black, it's African black, Brazilian black. It's all blacks represented in this book by these cards. Like there was one that was like shea butter. There's one that's like unbothered, and it's actually a defense card. Why? Because you're so unbothered that it actually affects the other person, which ends up being like they get hit with it. Or like Air Jordan, so they get the power to jump like throughout the thing. Or Mama's macaroni and cheese. That, oh my gosh, it's so many freaking cards. Like, let me see if I can find one because I wasn't expecting. Purple Haze, Purple Rain. Like, for example, Gabby Douglas card and a twist out card. So you get super crazy long twists that are super strong and healthy, and you use them to attack. The Gabby Douglas card means that you do some crazy flips and kicks and stuff. Like, I wish this game was real. I've actually tweeted Brittany Morris on Twitter and like, legit, do you know any game developers? Because like, we need to make this game a reality. This game was freaking fantastic. However, let me pull my chair because we need to talk about some things. So I don't know if your mama was as chill as her parents. So she's dating this guy named Malcolm, and they in the very beginning make it very clear that they have sex. They're in high school. They have sex in their mama house because their parents would rather them have sex at home than somewhere else. And I was reading that and I was like, girl, who's black mama letting them do all that in the house? Like, couldn't relate. I was like, all right, sis. This some new age black mama situations, because boys weren't even allowed in my room. We sat in the living room with everybody else, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. So let's see. There's the main character, Kiara. She goes to a predominantly white school. She's dating one of the few black guys at the school, Malcolm. Very hoteppy. We'll come back to that. And she has a sister named Stephanie who is a part of like the school sorority. And her sister is very pro-black in like, I enjoyed the fact that even between those three characters, it was different types of blackness. And it was portrayed very eloquently. Kiara also has a best friend who's white. And has a brother her best friend has a brother who's super annoying, and he says very problematic things that a lot of white people have said to me in my past, where I was just like, and it basically starts off with them having a debate about white people getting locks. Is that cultural appropriation? And she says exactly how I feel when white people come to me and they pose these kind of questions to me. Like, I am not the sole proprietor of what it is to be black. What might offend me might not offend somebody else, or what might offend somebody else might not offend me. Asking one person is not the collective. And it's just like, woo, so many gems. So I just want to focus. So the story happens that there's this big dual championship thing going on, and one of the characters, Anubis, is murdered in real life. He is murdered in real life because he and a couple of other slave players were actually pulling together their coins so that they could buy specific items that were super, super expensive, except he refused to give them the money back unless they paid them real money in real life, and therefore ended up getting shot over it. Yes. So because of this, obviously the world now knows about Slay. And what's the first thing that happens? White people want to jump in and say, oh, it's racist. It's a place full of gangs because they duel and all this stuff. It's like, I was so triggered reading this because it's like, wow. So like, because you weren't invited to this space, it's all of a sudden all of the bad things you could possibly imagine. It's targeting kids in low privileged areas. Sis, what? It's a game. Like, it was a game on there. I forgot the name of the game, but they were comparing it to that. And Kiara even said, like, the only black character you could play on this Galaxy of Planets game was a troll. Like a dark-skinned, ugly troll. Like, that was your only option to play a black character. So that was what pushed her to create Slay in the first place. So when all of this is happening, she ends up getting a troll who calls his name Dred Scott, which, if you don't know why that name was so offensive, pause this video and go Google, because I don't want to just tell you. I want you to learn. So she decides to get rid of this troll by dueling him. And it's decided because it's like, this is my game. I feel very passionate about this game. I don't feel like I should be ashamed of it. And honestly, I'm sure people are going to say that that kind of idea of creating a game only for black people is racist. But you don't understand what it's like to be a black gamer in a space where you know it's probably like a little 12-year-old white boy calling you the N-word every 2 seconds. Like, I don't play online unless I'm playing with people that I know, because I don't want to deal with the sexist automatic comments that I will get because, oh, it's a girl. Like, ooh, you're probably hot or you're probably not. It's all types of terrible things that you hear online. You don't know if you've never played video games online, sis, but let me tell you, it is a toxic community. So I understand why Kiara wanted to create this game. I know this game is not real. I wish it was real. But if I could play like a virtual reality type of environment game like that, where I don't have to worry about that type of hatred, I can get real black girl hairstyles and not have to worry. It's multiple games, Monster Hunter included, where like the dark skinned people only look like mud, and like the idea of an afro is like this weird like hair thing. Like, I know that doesn't matter to a lot of people, but for me it matters. Like, Sims just got with the program. So like, It's great. It's the idea of this game is great. But, honey, the most annoying part about this book was Malcolm. Malcolm is a hotep. He refers to reading as decolonizing. He thinks that the only way that Black people can prosper is if they get their education, start their own businesses, have their Black families with their Black queen and their Black chocolate babies. And it's like, whoa. I have actually encountered guys like this in real life who believe that like women having like a free thought, they're sexist. Like, it's like, you can't be so pro-Black that you're ready to beat down another Black person. And so like, yeah, Brittany was addressing racism, but she was also addressing some issues that are very heavy in our community. Malcolm's quote unquote Blackness was so toxic, it became a massive problem because Malcolm turned out to be her problem. And throughout the whole book, you kind of know that she's fighting this, but he becomes such a problem that like they actually have to take legal action against him because he feels like video games are just a way to pollute the Black man's mind and to stop him from progressing. Like, so let me get this straight. Playing video games, you can actually get paid for that. Like, why do people automatically assume that video games are so negative, especially in the Black community? It's like playing video games is a fantastic escape from reality. The same way that I read books is the same way that I play video games. Why are video games always villainized in a way that they don't need to be? Like, people make decisions whether video games existed or not. Killing somebody is a decision you were going to make whether this video game was there or not. But he proceeded to say that, you know, we got to protect our kings. We got to protect our kings. Hoteps, sis, you ever get a guy who makes comments about a Black woman's role behind her king, and he kind of refers to himself as king often, and he makes comments about you, like any type of association with white people? Check him. He might be a hotep. There are plenty of other examples in the world of hoteps. I'm not even going to get into that. I've experienced hoteps. I get messages from hoteps. My friends get messages from hoteps. They're just horrible people. But back to this book. So the part that made me cry in this book was at the end of the story, obviously she has to come clean about who she is to her parents. She realizes that her sister was super understanding, like her friends. Everybody now knows that she created Slay. But the part of Slay that touched me was she was having a conversation with her parents, and she was like, they were like, why didn't you feel comfortable telling us? And basically, like, she was struggling with her identity of Blackness. And I have struggled with my identity of what it means to be Black ever since I moved to the States. I moved to the States in 2006. I was already turning 18. My idea of Blackness was not the stateside view of Blackness. I didn't really fit in the States. I was constantly trying to figure out like what type of person was I supposed to be Black enough to do things. And when I went to college, it was even another moment where I felt like I wasn't Black enough because like I like video games, I like anime, I'm a very eclectic person, hence my name. And it wasn't really until I created Melanin Eclectic that I really started understanding that myself is fine. Like, my idea of Blackness is good and it's correct because it's me. And the identity of what it means to be Black is just such a vast, wide open place to live in. You literally define it any way you want to. I mean, except for the people who are white that want to identify as Black because they think it's cool. You will never be a part of this. But just the whole identity part of this book really resonated with me. Like, it was like this whole time she was afraid of showing people who she really was because she was afraid of how people were going to receive it, even her family. And it's like, the more I am comfortable with myself, the more I am understanding that it really is me. And like, there's nothing wrong with me. The more I started showing people me, and the more like I met some good friends in Houston now, like the world of dating doesn't seem so terrifying, you know, like stuff like that. Seeing a therapist, going through depression, just understanding myself. Like, I am a Black nerd, 112% black nerd. It is one of the best parts about me, but I also wear makeup. I also do black things, whatever that means. And like, I love video games, and I'm working on getting a PC. I want to go back to being a PC gamer. So it's like Slay spoke to me. Slay is me. Slay was me when I was trying to figure out who I was and trying to change myself so I could seem cool, so people would like me. Not realizing that that exact thing that I was doing was erasing me, and it was putting me in a place where I was so determined to please other people that I was erasing myself. And I don't erase myself anymore. I embrace every part of me, and that includes my gamer side. And that's why Slay spoke to me so much. So I'm going to stop rambling. This video is kind of long, but I highly recommend this book. It is a YA, but bruh, it speaks. It speaks. Yeah. Have you read Slay? Have you read a book like Slay that you would recommend to me? Because I want to read more books like this. This is a different type of coming of age story. This is blackness. And I just want to thank Brittany for making this book, and her name and my name are the same. So, you know, hey girl, hey. But yeah, thank you guys so much for checking out my channel, and until tomorrow, guys. Bye.